Yeah, so you're live on Zoelight TV here, and we are asking out and about and asking about Mother's Day and what mothers think about the day Mother's Day in the United States of America. I have a beautiful mom here, and I'm going to ask her what her name is. What's your name, ma'am?
I'm Macy Butler.
Okay, good to meet you. A happy Mother's Day in advance.
Thank you.
Now, tell me about motherhood in Maryland. I'm not going to say the whole of the United States because it's too big. Tell me about motherhood in Maryland.
Well, I'm a mother of five children, and when they were young and we were growing up, my husband was in the military, so we moved a lot of places, and I felt, my job as a mother was to make them, thrive wherever we were. Not just food, clothing, and shelter, but also find recreational, sports, education, finding the best schools, helping them. So that's kind of what I think most mothers want. And we want our kids to be happy and successful and contribute.
As a military mom, how were you able to cope with 5 children?
I loved it. It was my calling. I loved it all. And my husband was a help. He would help bathe the babies at night while I was making dinner and stuff, so it was a team effort. And the community helped too. I mean, there were neighbors I could call on. Hey, I got to take this one to the doctor. Can you babysit the others? And I would do it for them. So it was kind of all together. Yeah, we did.
I'm going to say thank you for your service, even though it's your husband who served, but thank you for your service. And I'm so proud of you as a mom. What do you want to say to your children out there?
I love you guys, and I'm very proud of each and every one of you.
Thank you, ma'am. What's your name, ma'am?
Florence Abange.
Okay. Tell me, this Mother's Day, I want you to tell me, what do you think about motherhood?
From my own perspective, I'm a single mother, a widow. So it's, I think being a mother is a blessing. And being able to do things by yourself is more blessing. So I just want to tell all the moms out there, kudos to everyone because you're doing a great job. Whether you're by yourself or you have a husband, just know that you are blessed because there are people out there who cannot even have it with money. So I think we are doing a great job.
Now, I'm excited, and I know that you have been holding on in there. You've been doing a great job because you are still so beautiful.
Thank you.
And I want to wish you a happy Mother's Day in advance.
Thank you.
But what will you tell your kids?
Hey, be good to your mama, okay? Make sure you give her a beautiful surprise. And please, I pray every day that children out there should not embark on this social media thing and forget how they were brought up, especially me. I'm from Africa.
That's right.
And please don't forget that everything you do, your attitude determines who you are. So you don't have to forget, and I love you. Love you from the bottom of my heart. You guys know where we came from. Please do the right thing.
Tell me about motherhood. How many kids do you have?
I have twin girls.
Wow.
And they are 38.
Wow.
And doesn't matter how big they are, they'll always be my baby.
Sure they will always be.
Yes.
Now, tell me, is there any fond memory of what you remember so much about them?
Well, since they're twins, twins have their own language. One of mine was little, and she had a speech impediment. And she would come up to me and say, and I'd bend my knees and get down to her level and say, okay, say it again. And she'd go, all right, one more time. And she'd say it again, and her sister said, she wants a drink of water.
Wow.
So they really do have their own language.
That's right.
It's really
That's
pretty
right.
interesting.
As a mother, tell me the highs and lows, the difficulty in rising up and taking care of them, and then coming out to work at the same time. Tell me about it.
Well, I was fortunate enough where I stayed home with them until they were in 2nd grade. And I had them in nursery school, and they were together then, but once they hit public school, I separated them because I wanted them to be their own person instead of my sister. So I worked with them in school until they were in second grade, and at second grade the teacher said, oh no, we don't want you working with the kids, we want you to Xerox. And I said, well, if somebody wants me to Xerox, they're going to pay me to do it. And that was the last time I worked in school.
That's right.
Which is unfortunate because I think a lot of the kids could use the hands-on extra help, but that's not how they saw it. But motherhood is not easy.
That's right.
You know, it's you as a woman change when you have a baby. I mean, before I had my kids, I was very carefree, didn't show any caution on anything, but boy, I had kids and it's like, I really watch the way I drive and the way that I talk, and you have to think differently because you've got somebody depending on you. And it's just a whole game changer. But it's a good thing. I really, really wanted my kids. So it didn't matter that I didn't get any sleep.
That's right.
Because in the long run, it was worth it.
It paid off.
Yep.
That's right.
So
tell me about motherhood then and motherhood now. Remember when you were growing up, there was much of checking maybe granddad or dad would make sure you are in line.
Yeah.
Compared to today, is it the same thing?
No, not at all. When I was growing up, when I was a child, everybody watched out for everybody else in the neighborhood. You know, and if you did something wrong, that neighbor was going to spank you and get you back on the straight line. And then with my kids, you know, I would spank them when they needed it. I mean, it was just a little tap here and a tap there, but it was enough to get their attention and say, hey, you're not doing it right. You know, let's get it right. And now I'm raising my grandson, and I still keep the same practices with him. You just can't smack anybody in public anymore. Which I'm not saying smacking is the answer, but some kids just need, you know,
that touch.
Yes. They
wake them up.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
And he's a good kid. Every once in a while I have to, but for the most part, I think the problem is the parents don't have time for kids. And when you have kids, you have to, you know, they need you because you teach them everything. And if you're not there for them, I think that's the problem with today's kids, is both parents have to work and they don't have time for the kid. And this is a bad generation that we're bringing up because you can tell that they've been neglected and nobody's watched them, they have no manners, nobody's taught them that stuff.
That's right.
It's a bad generation that I'm watching. And I don't like it.
But so you're still live on Zoelight TV, and we are still out and about here in Burtonsville, Maryland, and asking mothers about Mother's Day. I have a beautiful mom here. I'm going to ask her of her name, and then we'll continue from there. Mom, what's your name?
My name is Kelly.
And what do you think about Mother's Day?
I think it's a very special day that we can be reminded about our own mums and have our kids. It gives them an opportunity to make things special for us as well. I think it can be very sad, though, for those whose mums may have already died or don't have a great relationship. But I think, on the whole, it's a lovely day.
Tell me one particular thing you remember about bringing her up. That's keeps sticking in your mind. It never goes away.
There's lots of things. She's very good at goodnight kisses. Yes, it's fun to give her cuddles at the end of the day and know that she's going to sleep feeling loved and safe.
So, in this time of Mother's Day, what do you want to tell those out there, like you said from the beginning, those who have no mothers, one reason or the other, they've lost their mom? What do you want to tell them?
To always remember that they're loved, that by Jesus, and that we can have our hearts filled with other relationships and other special occasions as well.